when they went to the street for the very first time, the police actually just attacked them from all over the place, and one of the protesters died. So they went to hospital. After leaving the hospital and burying him, they went straight to Lulu Square, where is the roundabout. They protested at the roundabout at the very beginning as well, and they said, look, what we are here for is for reforms. We want this government to reform itself. We want fairer elections. We want better, fairer constituencies, and we want social justice. So everyone is the same, not because your family name is Al Khalifa. 3 days on, when they are in the roundabout, the government brought the military, and they attacked the roundabout. So many injuries. 3 people died as well at that time, and then the people actually realized that this government will never reform itself. So the people start calling for the fall of the regime. And the king came and apologized at the beginning, and he said, look, I'm gonna investigate the death of those 3 or 4 that died already. Nothing happened up until today, which is a year on. Nothing happened. They are not willing to do anything if they are not willing to reform.
The current demand of the people on the street is the downfall of the entire monarchy, the downfall of the king, the downfall of the prime minister, and the downfall of the entire system. And it's the only way that the people find will be worthy of implementing justice, because the people at the moment do not trust the government. The Bahraini regime is very creative in its techniques on how to deal with protesters. People are still getting arrested on a daily basis. The arrest happened through arbitrary arrests happen through night raids. So at 3 a.m. you could be in your bed sleeping, not doing anything. Maybe you're not even a political activist. The police will come into your home. Around 30 armed men would break into your home, probably steal your belongings, abuse the people of that house, take the men of the house, probably insult the women as well and the children, and abuse those in that process. Torture is still carried out in prisons, and tear gas canisters, stun grenades, rubber bullets. Every night we are facing this on a daily basis. You could be at your home eating your dinner with your family or with your with your children, and the tear gas canisters will come through your window into your home and suffocate the people of that home. So it's a collective punishment, whether you are political, whether you are an activist, apolitical.
The police has been brutal since the 80s. There are people in the 80s, they died under torture. People in the 90s died under torture, and people in this revolution as well died under torture. So the police reaction has been exactly the same thing. They are trying to rule with the iron fist, as they say.
The accusations that the protests in Bahrain are sectarian are not new to Bahrain. People assume that we've heard this many times before, and actually Bahrain is not new to uprisings. We've had an uprising in the 1920s and the 1930s. Every 10 or so years there is a new uprising in Bahrain. There is a new reform process suggested by the government, and the reform process isn't implemented. Every 10 or so years, the same accusations are reiterated again by the government, that the protests in Bahrain are sectarian. Personally, I think this is a government narrative to try and demonize the population of Bahrain, to try and divide and rule the population of Bahrain. At the moment in our prisons, we have Sunnis and Shia in our prisons, and they are both subjugated to torture, arrest. All sectors of our society have been demanding for change and democracy. We have, for example, Ibrahim al-Sharif. We have Mohammed Bouflasa. Ibrahim al-Sharif is a Sunni. He heads the Wa'ad party in Bahrain, and yes, he'd been sentenced to 5 years in prison because he's been asking for change. So this is a government narrative. It's not true. Actually, one of the main slogans in Bahrain in the start of our revolution was "La Sunni la Shi'a kunna sha'b Bahraini." Shia و سنة هالبلد ما نبيع, which is no Sunni, no Shia, we are all Bahraini. And the reason why it was repeated so many times, because we knew that this would be the government narrative, that these are Shia trying to take over Sunni Bahrain, and this is a Sunni country, and it's a Shia that are trying to revolt, to oppress the Sunni. It's not true. It's not true at all. And actually, many families in Bahrain are made up of both Sunni and Shia families. I mean, and the government itself is made up of Sunni and Shia representatives. It's simply the revolution of Bahrain is a people asking for change, asking for justice. You don't need to be a Sunni or a Shia. The government is not a Sunni or Shia government. It's an oppressive government against an oppressed people.
In Bahrain, we don't have a really Shia or Sunni. We have a regime loyalist, and we have people actually going out demanding their rights. There are regime loyalists who are Shia, yes. There are regime loyalists who are Sunnis. So it doesn't make any difference really. The accusation of the revolution being a sectarian one is something the regime came up with in an attempt to shut that down.
I think women in Bahrain have always been active in demanding. I think the women's movement in Bahrain is a long one. And I think, if anything, the February 14th movement is going to enhance, is going to develop the women's movement in Bahrain and provide a space for change. In terms of women's status, the participation of women and men in the revolution just proves that this is a popular uprising that has affected all parts of society. You know, it's men, women, people from Sitra, people from Manama. You know, all parts of the country. Bahrain is an interesting one because we're in a strategic position in the world, okay? We have the US Fifth Fleet in Bahrain. Even though we're a very small country with a very tiny population, we have a lot of American interest in Bahrain. And yes, I think the media works with an agenda. Bahraini Revolution hasn't received as much coverage as other revolutions because it's not in favor of it's not in favor of a certain media narrative to talk about Bahrain. Okay, for example, when America is selling weapons to the Bahraini regime and tear gas, they're still selling them. When Britain is also selling all of this, it doesn't come in the favor of Britain to talk about the Bahraini Revolution. This is my opinion. Secondly, I mean, Bahrain has the Al Khalifa regime is very good in distributing its money to a lot of PR agencies. So we have a lot of PR agencies doing their best to dictate the narrative of what's happening in Bahrain, to completely dissolve the protests. The protesters' demands. This is really funny because if the Bahraini government had actually distributed that money to the people instead of the PR agencies, then there won't be a revolution because the people wouldn't have anything to demand. In its attempt to completely shut us up is to provide a media blockout in Bahrain. So, for example, we had our anniversary on February the 14th, our first revolution anniversary. I think just a few journalists were given visas. We had the BBC, Channel 4, Al Jazeera English. All of these major media outlets were denied visas to enter Bahrain to cover the revolution.
At this time, what we can do is we can contact the media on behalf of Bahrain. We can lobby governments. We can campaign for human rights, and this is what we are actually doing in here. So we formed teams. A team that will go, for example, to lobby MPs in the parliament, and a team that is going to go and lobby students, and a team that is going to campaign for human rights, and a team that is going to campaign for stopping the arms sales to Bahrain, because the UK is still selling arms to Bahrain.
We have the weapons of the social media. We have Twitter, we have Facebook, and we do have an audience that does care. So. To the Bahraini people, we're here for you. I mean, we might be far away, but we're still fighting the same struggle. To the British Prime Minister, dude, wake up! Like, stop selling the weapons to the Bahraini regime. I mean, I think I hold David Cameron, I hold Obama, and I hold the entire U.S. the Obama administration entirely responsible for the abuses that are happening currently in Bahrain. Because without, they are supporting the oppression right now.
Well, the message that we want to send to Bahrainis is basically continue with the struggle. We are here. We are trying to help you with whatever we can, as much as we can. The message we actually send into the Arab world, or to the people across the globe, is to stand in solidarity with Bahrain, solidarity with the revolution, stand in solidarity with the people. Don't listen to what the government
the
is
Arab
saying.
Communities within the Arab world, within Syria, within Egypt, our struggle is your struggle. So let's do this together, and we will do it.